Hi, from my house to your house, it is so good to be with you here today. My daily reading for March 6th says, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life." And it's a quote from Prince. And I think, boy, that's exactly what we're doing to some degree today. We're gathering here today to get through this thing called life without Millie by our side here in the flesh. And it's been going on for months and it's not easy. So we gather together, tell her stories, lift her up, and think about grace. I want to say that what I saw Millie doing more than anything was consistently doing that which needed to be done. Whether she was running errands, managing her life within a budget, encouraging her children in their endeavors, being active in the community, supporting Gene and his community service, she was doing that which needed to be done. Whenever I saw her, she was hosting family from the East Coast, so I saw her doing that which needed to be done. But the story I'm going to tell you today is that a time when she took a break from that. At this time, Paula, her mom, had had a couple strokes and had stopped living independently at the River Club and had moved into the home that Gene and Millie graciously offered to her in the room upstairs. And my mom and dad were visiting from Maryland, and I had come down from Montana, where I had just started living my independent life, so I might have been a little full of it. Anyway, we wanted to be helpful. Grandma did not want to be waited on, and on this particular morning, that collided. Grandma was sitting at the table in the blue chair at the kitchen table. Millie, Mom, and I were milling about in the kitchen, visiting and tending to what needed to be tended to. And it was time for coffee and maybe a cinnamon roll, one of Grandma's cinnamon rolls. And not all of you have gotten one of Grandma's cinnamon rolls, but this family is full of good bakers. So enjoy that. But on this particular day, we were having cinnamon rolls that Grandma had made the day before. And Mom and I thought, we can handle this, Millie. You go take a break. We're gonna do this. So I get the coffee cup and a saucer, and I come to Grandma and I ask her how she would like her coffee, and she says, "I can get coffee myself." And there's only one way to make coffee. And I thought, well, there's more than one way to serve coffee, but okay, not gonna say anything. Grandma's a little grumpy today. And I'm getting the coffee, and Mom is working this new-fangled machine, a microwave oven that Millie had. And she had slipped the roll on a dish into the microwave, and just to freshen it up a bit from yesterday. And the microwave dinged, and she took it out, and she says, "Oh, Paulette, I've ruined it. It's hard as a rock." I said, "How long did you nuke it for?" She says, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, oh my goodness. So it was hard as a brick, and I thought, nobody's ruining their dental work on my watch. So I said, well, get another one. And Grandma over here is saying, don't get another one, don't get another one. That's fine, that's just the way I like it. And after 8 seconds, I took it out, and I said to her with no patience and nothing, said, well, eat this soft one, and if you still want another one, then you can have the hard one. And I put the plate down in front of her, and Grandma did her remember her nobody cares what I think. And I thought, how did we ruin this? And I excused myself from the kitchen. I look over at my mom, I'm on the way out, and she has her hand over her mouth as if she has raised the rudest grandchild of them all. And I start walking out through that beautiful archway with the whiteboard next to it that has the phone numbers written on the whiteboard. I walk through that archway, and immediately on my left, I mean immediately, Aunt Millie's sitting there with her hand over her mouth, trying not to laugh out loud. She was smiling so big. She had found such joy in our consternation in the kitchen. And it was an eye-opening experience that I want to take with me forever, that Aunt Millie did what needed to be done. When help was offered, she didn't say no, and she found joy in the opportunity, in the experience. And I think that's wonderful. And I think my mom, she just felt Everybody wants to be competent in front of their mother-in-law, for crying out loud. And poor grandma, she wanted her independent life back. She didn't want to be waited on. So there we are in our preciousness, this glorious preciousness, just irritating each other. And I think what's so cool about where Aunt Millie is now is that she sees that full picture of grace. She sees it for others. Anytime I tweaked her last nerve, she's forgiven me for that. And maybe even more importantly, she sees grace and can apply it to herself, slather it on herself. And aren't we hardest on ourselves? So it warms my heart to think of her living in grace.